After the success of creating a wireless controller for the Nintendo DS, we focused our attention on installing it in the Game Boy Color Console. So we picked a well-used console from the pile and went about getting to work. As per the DS Lite build, we focused our attention on using a 6-point wireless receiver. Luckily for us, we were able to sort a prefabricated circuit from AliExpress. However, we did have to strip it down to its bare essentials by removing the mode and pair keys. This ensured that the circuit was only 2mm thick and could be placed within the Game Boy Color shell itself. We then went about disassembling the Game Boy Color shell and trying to find a location for it to fit. Once disassembled, the first place that came to mind was the shield behind the Game Boy cartridge slot. This location measured an exact 2mm and was away from all other electronics. Once satisfied with the location, we then went about removing the motherboard from the Game Boy Color itself. Thanks to the modder at Natalie the Nerd, she was kind enough to provide a schematic with the Game Boy pinouts for directional and A and B buttons. The soldering points are very fine and do need prepping before soldering. We do recommend using thin 30 AWG wire, as well as a fine tip soldering iron and a little bit of flux. We then soldered the wires to the wireless receiver, 4 being the directional key, 2 being the A and B button, as well as an earth and 5V. We then went about using some double-sided tape to mount it in place. We found that mounting it to the right-hand side of the shield was the best orientation, as this avoided any other electronics. We also recommend using some Kapton or electrical tape to shield the circuit. Once installed, your wireless circuit should look something like this. The final steps of the build involve tidying up the wiring and shielding the electronics. Now it's just a matter of screwing the shell back together. Once you've screwed the shell back together, you can see that the finish is perfect and is undetectable from the exterior of the shell. Now the best part of any mod is testing it with one of your favourite games. In this instant, we use Pokemon Blue. Just like the DS Lite build, we're pleased to say that the Game Boy Color also functions flawlessly with the wireless controller. The analog directional key feels firm, and so do the A and B tactile buttons. We're already in talks with a talented modder who is creating a DIY kit for the DMG console. And we're also currently testing this on the Game Boy Advance console. In the meantime, if you have some basic electronics and soldering skills, we definitely recommend you giving this mod a go yourself. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe.